You don't know love till you lose things. 33 years in America. When you're down here, you're looking at the weather, I live in that. When you have lost your country, then you know love. Go on the internet and look at the passion. It's from the diaspora. It's the people who are working 3 jobs in the U.S., all over the world. The only little Jamaica they get is from watching you on TV or watching you on Instagram, watching you on social media. They love this country, but they can't get here. They can't vote. Can you imagine if the United States had a rule that says if you're outside the country, you can't vote? You lose this country the day you leave it. That is wrong. But you don't know love of this country until you're sitting where I am. Bustamante spent 34 years outside of the country. Talk about love. Panama, Cuba. What did he do? He came back, started a trade union to help people, converted into the JLP. So you don't love this country, you start traveling outside the country and understand what's out there and why this is the most best country on the earth. The only disaster that will ever happen here is too much rain. I lost my grandmother when I was in medical school. I came back for the funeral. I couldn't stop bawling. Everybody embarrassed. You can't just stop crying? I couldn't. When my mother was too busy, she was taking care of me. She used to watch Prince of Bel-Air. She said that it reminded me of me. I can't watch that show. She never saw me graduate. All that work. You know love yet? I couldn't stop bawling and put it under the ground. You have it all. You go out there and you find a way to survive and you start your business. And let me tell you something about entrepreneurship. You don't have to start a company. You go find someone else who has started one. Bill Gates has made a lot of billionaires. Paul Allen, billionaires. Steve Ballmer, billionaires. Zuckerberg started his company, Facebook, called 5 of his friends. Hey, I have a new idea. Come talk to me about it. 2 show up. They are billionaires today. Billionaires have created more billionaires than people going out on their own. So don't get it twisted. Starting a company is not about ego, about you don't want to work for nobody. That's not the reason. Remember what I said, love, respect, honor. That's your why. You attract money. So 5 things if you're going to start your company. You start with people. You better build relationships. Jamaicans are horrible at that. We kill each other. We talk about each other. Bad mind. We can't make relationship in this country. That's a big problem. It's about relationships. I'm not here if Mr. Chin didn't give me a blight. I'm not here if Mr. Perry didn't recommend I play for the national team coming from Portland. Boy, I'm here saying he's good, but at Portland not. We fill up the team with Manning Cup. No, you got to see this kid. He was the president of the Jamaica Football Association. He and his son and I were friends. You need relationships. You don't get anywhere without that. You don't just show up at Sagicor Bank and think you're just going to show them a business plan. They need to know you. Need to understand that you need relationships. And we're not doing that. You focus on relationships in your life, every aspect. Your qualification, your talent, that's distributed all over the place. But your ability to get along with people is priceless. That's how you're going to learn to get along, get forward. So you start with people. I'm going to give you 5 P's. You identify a product or a service. The second P. And that product better be something that is going to benefit people and understand it and learn it and study it. You're going to sell banana, study it. What can I do with the peel? What can I do with the banana? All these things, know your industry, know your product inside out. You have to set up some kind of process in your company from day one. How does it work? How do you get all that? Kadisha has all that down. She has her product. She has a price for it. She has her branding on. She has her location. All these things. How she gets other banana. All that. Part of your process. She got to get all that down. You have to have a sense of purpose that's bigger than just money. And that is going to drive you every day. You cannot get up out of bed just because you're going to make money today. You get up out of bed early because you can't wait to get going. You know where you're trying to go. Doesn't matter what they put in front of you. That purpose is what's going to get you places. And when you have a sense of purpose, you're attracting people to you. They love you. You're just fire burning up. Perseverance. You will never get anywhere in life thinking that it's going to be a smooth ride. If you're on a road that has no obstacle, you're on the wrong road. That's why no obstacle, because nobody no drive on it. And you do these 5 things. You focus on people and relationship, and don't be bad man, and do everything someone said something to you and hurt your feelings, and you're ready to carry on. And that's why Jamaicans kill each other for nothing. People first. Get your product, your sense of purpose. Put processes in. You can't wing it every day. And you persevere. What's going to happen? Plenty of profits. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Love you guys. Thank you.
People, products, purpose, process, perseverance. Something that we should all take with us in everything we do, right? We're getting there. We're getting there. Just one more thing. I'm going to invite Mr. Wayne Beecher to just give us short judges' comments before we get into the prizes and the announcements.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Just some brief remarks from the judges. First of all, I think we should all recognize and applaud the participants of today's competition. I've been at this for like 5 years now, so I was there from the start. And I must say, this year, the bar has been raised. I think we have seen the mastery of the business model canvas. All the participants understood the canvas and applied the rigors of the process of getting out into the field and to validate their assumptions and come up with a relevant product offering that represents a viable value proposition. The only feedback we'd give is in terms of the validation process in and of itself. The participants have to be careful in recognizing a market-based validation versus an opinion-based validation. Yeah? So that's a key point that you need to take away. And in terms of moving towards a market-based validation, which is what you want, you have to focus on creating that minimum viable product that represents your value proposition so that the customers can understand it and give it the sort of feedback you need in order to make a pivot. But in saying that, almost all participants got near the mark. The scoring for this competition was separated by fractions, actually. And the deal the deal makers, two indicators for deal making. One is the scalability of the idea, ideas that can dominate the local market, but also that can be dominant in a global market so you can achieve the sort of breakout that Dr. Chin spoke about. And then also because of where we are in terms of the development of our country, we also need to look at impact. How can your idea have a significant impact on the economy, impact on the environment, and impact on some of the social issues that's facing us right now? But all in all, I think you all did well. There are no losers today. You have only started a process on your entrepreneurial journey. So congratulations. Let's see where the results come out.
All right. So we're going to do some presentations before we get into the winners. And just like to say from the PSOJ, we will be hosting the top 4 teams at a mentorship dinner on April 5th, and the invitations will be sent out once we leave here this afternoon. I would like to acknowledge our coordinators. Our coordinators work tirelessly. And at this time, thank you. I'd like to invite Mrs. Audrey Tugwell-Henry to the stage. And in no particular order, from Edna Manley College, Miss Laura Lee Jones and Miss Janice Gore. This is just a small token of our appreciation for the work that you've done for the teams. Mrs. Hazel O'Connor, will you join us on stage, please? And these are gift tokens from GK Capital. Next, I'd like to invite Dr. Carol Nathan, Novelet Cook, and Mr. Frederick Mills from UTEC. And from UE, I invite Mrs. Ashley Rose Davis and Dawn Morgan. And I would like to invite the main coordinators from the universities, Laura Lee Jones, Hazel O'Connor, Dr. Carol Nathan, and lastly, Ashley Rose Davis. And we would like to say a big thank you to our judges for semifinals and the finals. I'd like to invite Mr. Omar Cheddar, Marcia Reed Grant, Dale Seaton, Cheryl Stewart, Avril Leon, Althea Westmeyer, Mr. Wayne Beecher, Mr. Gordon Swaby, Joanna Banks, and Mr. Douglas Robinson. We acknowledge all the participants, and we ask Dr. Chin, if you could come forward for me, please. And I'd like just the founder of the companies I'm going to call to just come on stage. Edna Manley College, iCheckout, Golden Designs. Next, I invite Mr. Dale Seaton, who will hand out the certificates for NCU. Verdant Derms, Base Tech, New Life, and FITS. Dale, I now invite Mrs. Audrey Richards to present the certificates for UTEC. 3D Shopper, Click Chill, Healthy Art, and Candid Sorrel. And lastly, Ms. McDonald from the PSOJ will hand out the certificates for the UE team. EcoStructure, Eagle Car Consulting, Queritel, and Scholastic. And now, here we go. Mr. Willacy, could you join me on stage, please? Our 4th place winner from NCU Base Tech. Our 3rd place winner, Life from NCU. 2nd place winners from UE, EcoStructure. The moment we have all been waiting for. My drum roll, please. The winner of the 2018 National Business Model Competition, Queritel from UE. I would like to invite Mr. Douglas Lindo.
Good afternoon, everyone. Right now I'm speaking on behalf of the university, but also on behalf of the overall initiative. When we started 5 years ago, we stood up at one of our fundraising opportunities to bring on private sector partners, and we spoke about the triple play. And what that effectively means is when you can get government, private sector, and academia to work hand in hand, there's nothing that we can't do together. And this is a testimony of that. So I want to thank the organizers, DBJ, the universities, and the PSOJ for what has been achieved here. I think Jeffrey Hall would thank Kingsley for that video at the front end, right? I don't think he could pay for that advertising. But just to recognize, very importantly, the universities and the work that the coordinators do, I emphasize every year how much help is yet required to continue to achieve what we're achieving. The work that NCU has done, UTEC, Edna Manley, and UWI is significant. One of the biggest gaps that we have to date is not so much money, it's actually mentorship. It's private sector individuals, corporate individuals getting involved not only with individual entrepreneurs, but sitting on advisory boards for some of these startups, sitting on advisory boards for some of our incubators. Our incubators need our private sector partnership, and it's very critical going forward. And I'll just close by making this third point. And it's out of a challenge that myself and Audrey, we buck heads progressively. That's what I like to call it, right? We were discussing the other day how many young people have been impacted by this program in the last 5 years. Audrey said 1,500. I said, let's be conservative. In the last 5 years, across the 4 tertiary institutions, over 1,000 young people have been impacted. That's significant. Our PSOJ president, Mrs. McDonald, your president, who had to leave us early, who I know quite well, Howard, you know, he said, listen, he wants to say, I quote him, I want to see an expanded program, right? Now, I'm going to throw out a challenge of which I'm going to give you the demonstrated effect. Tracy, this is for you. You have 50 council members. I'm going to challenge the PSOJ for their 50 council members to generate 50 hours of mentorship and $500,000 of support for this program for the upcoming year. And you know what? I'm going to give the first 50 hours and the first $500,000 to that program. So I would love to, personally in my capacity, not as UWI, but in my private interest as an entrepreneur. So I welcome the opportunity for us to sit down and see if it fits within your agenda. One way or another, we're going to get it done. Right, Audrey? The triple play is happening. Great work to the teams. Hazel did say to me, she said, listen, 5 is a round number. I said, I don't know your math, Hazel, but I'll take a win this year. Thank you very much, everybody. It's fantastic. We look forward to bigger and better things. Milverton next year.